AITA 26F for reporting my neighbor 38F plus 39M son 11M to the police for trespassing. I 26F live in England. I own my home and understand I am fortunate, but I also worked hard for it. Any money I received or earned while working part-time till graduation went into my savings account. Most people on my street are social housing tenants. I'm still determining what that is, but they've explained that you're eligible for the scheme if you're on a low income. It's more secure than the private sector as you mostly get assured tenancies even though there are different tenancy types. For a while, I got on well with my next-door neighbors, Emily and Ben. They also have 3 kids, 13M, 9F, 4F. But soon I started experiencing a lot of problems from next door. I work from home often, and I could hear shouting next door constantly. Ben is 5 inches 11, 145 kilograms and quite loud and intimidating, and I could hear their kids screaming and crying. I had to ask them to lower their voices daily, and I even explained that I work from home. The next set of problems revolved around the 13-year-old son. I spotted their son climbing over a wall to get into my garden to get his football back, which at first I ignored it. Then after it happened 10 times, I finally decided to speak with his parents. And I can't remember what I said entirely. Still, it was something like, "Hey, I just wanted to have a word as I have seen your son. Less than insert name here. Trespass 11 times to get his ball from my garden. I would appreciate it if you could get him to stop as he is trespassing. And if he just came round to the front and knocked on my front door and asked for his ball back, I would happily collect it for him." The neighbors apologized and said they would make sure their son doesn't do it and knock. A few days later, their son did it again while I was in my lounge. I walked into my garden, which made him jump, and spoke with him. I told him I'd seen him trespass to collect his ball on various occasions. I told him I had talked with his parents and that trespassing is a crime, and I would appreciate it if he could just come to the front and knock in the future. He didn't say anything and just went back into his garden. I informed his parents, and they apologized, but it continued. I got fed up with it and decided to invest in CCTV finally. I wrote a letter to residents on my road to give them a week's notice that CCTV is being installed at my address, and it will cover my entire garden and it will also cover my doorway. I also wrote that I'm getting a Ring doorbell camera. After installing CCTV, I thought it would stop the kids from trespassing. It continued. I saved the footage, filed a police report against the son for trespassing, and sent all my evidence to the police. I knew there was a strong chance that nothing was going to happen, but I just wanted the son to have some responsibility. When my neighbors found out, they were mad AF with me, and since then our relationship soured. My siblings found out about this and think I am a total a-hole for this. AITA? Why is it relevant that you own your house and other houses are social housing? Welcome to Am I the Asshole? Please view our voting guide here. And remember to use only one judgment in your comment. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I may be the a-hole because I invested in CCTV, which the neighbors are complaining I have ruined the neighborhood now. I also reported a 13YO for trespassing, knowing full well that the police will highly unlikely do anything about it. I just wanted to make him responsible. Help keep the sub engaging. Don't downvote assholes. Do upvote interesting posts. Click here for our rules and click here for our FAQ. Subreddit announcements. Happy anniversary. AITA. The asshole universe is expanding. Again. Introducing another new sister subreddit. Follow the link above to learn more. ## moderators needed join the landed gentry. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. Contest mode is 1.5 hours long on this post. Low-income housing isn't a scheme. It keeps lower-income people, usually families, from being homeless. Legally you aren't an AH, but as a neighbor you for sure are. This kid sounds like he has a rough home life and is just getting his ball out of your garden. He probably doesn't want to talk to any adult in his life at all, much less a guy who keeps complaining about him to his parents. If he's not wrecking anything in your garden, YTA for making his life harder. Edit. I didn't know scheme was just a similar word to project in the UK. The parents of that kid should try to make sure the kid doesn't come into your garden, but you literally filed a police report against a 13-year-old for getting his back? Also, I understand that you work from home, but obviously kids are going to be loud and you're not going to get complete silence living next to kids. YTA how exactly is this kid retrieving his ball from your yard hurting you? Also, you made a big deal out of telling them not to bother you because you work from home. But then you're telling them, but have your kid knock on my door to get his ball back. Your relationship with your neighbors soured because you're being needlessly petty and hard to live around. And you called the police on them because a child was retrieving a toy. Congrats. NTA. Once or twice is a mistake. 11 times is careless. You would also potentially be liable if he fell or injured himself going over the wall. NTA. Despite me assuring my neighbor's kid that she is welcome to enter my garden to retrieve her ball, she always knocks and asks politely for it. The neighbor's kids need to learn about boundaries and respect for others. If they don't, it could get them into serious trouble as adults. Yeah, you're definitely the ahi. Understand that dealing with neighbors can be annoying, but installing a regular camera and a doorbell camera to catch a child retrieving his ball so you can report them to the police is insanity. As someone else mentioned, it's obvious you think they're less than you since you brought up your neighbors live in low-income housing. Just get a higher fence so it's less likely objects will come into your garden. Info. How do you know Ben's weight so precisely? And why does it matter? And why does it matter that the majority of residents on your street are council tenants? NTA. You tell the parents that their kid is trespassing on your property and to stop. No effect. Strike 1. You tell the kid directly that he is trespassing on your property and to stop. No effect. Strike 2. You warn the neighborhood that you'd like your privacy and will try to ensure it by installing CCTVs. No effect. Strike 3. It's your yard. It doesn't matter if the intruder is just a kid. The boundary to your garden is clearly marked. You were polite to everyone involved. As best as I can tell from your description. Might I suggest a motion-sensitive air raid siren near the garden? YTA. 26? You sound more like 86 yelling, "Get off my lawn." Would you be so offended by a ball being retrieved from your yard if you thought the neighbors were homeowners and not getting housing according to you because a scheme? You bought this up as a point. You could have left it out. Neighbors are neighbors no matter if they own rent or it is subsidized. Very snobbish. Your siblings think you are an asshole and so do I. NTA. You have them warning numerous times. I can't be the only one that tried to read this post in my head with a middle-class English accent. YTA. If there is something poor people need a bit more, it's harassment from the police over something so trivial. You sound like that neighbor. What a miserable life you lead. YTA, the way you wrote this post screams AH. The way you used the term scheme might as well tattoo "ah" on your forehead. It's a kid getting his ball back. Chill out. If he's not causing damage and doing so, you're overreacting. If he knocked on your door every time he needed the ball back, you'd just complain about that too, since it would be interrupting your work from home. NTA, you ask nicely, it didn't work, so you took option B. YTA. Bloody hell, you sound fun. Not. Pretty sure the next post will be you complaining he has knocked on the door 11+ times to ask to retrieve his ball. Lighten up. And the whole speech about owning your house as opposed to your neighbors who perhaps do not, just makes you come off as looking down on everyone from your high and mighty, albeit bought and owned, perch. YTA. Op. You do sound entitled due to your better housing position. However, you are NTA because the kid refuses to be respectful and just ask for the ball at the front like any normal kid would. I don't understand why people call you the asshole when you proposed a solution and the child refused to follow it. I thought all of the kids in the UK are taught to ask for their balls, drones, etc. But I guess I just always had nice neighbors. Slash. NTA, he should just ring the door. NTA. Except you are wrong in that, in the UK, trespassing itself is not a criminal offense. YTA. He's a kid playing. Balls go over fences. Kids go retrieve them. It's hardly a big deal, and going to the police about it is insane. But you're mainly an AH because this whole post screams that you're mainly upset to live around poor people who only own a home because a scheme.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.